These drone attacks reveal how helpless and defenseless Russian soldiers are on the Ukrainian front. With nowhere to hide and no protection, they are repeatedly caught off guard. Every advance ends the same way. Russian soldiers are helpless on the front line against Ukrainian FPV drones. In the Kursk region, Ukraine's 414th Strike Aviation Brigade detected 2 Russian soldiers in open terrain. They were most likely conducting reconnaissance. After a short period of observation, Ukrainian FPV drones moved in for the attack. The Russian soldiers dropped to the ground and tried to shoot down the approaching FPV drone. They fired repeatedly, but hitting such a small drone proved extremely difficult, and they failed. The rapidly approaching drone successfully closed in on the Russian soldiers. Even in the final moments, they tried to shoot it down, but still failed, and the soldiers became the drone's direct targets. A Russian infantryman was spotted while entering a trench. His brief exit exposed a well-camouflaged Russian position. Soon after, the Ukrainian Magyar Birds drone strike unit sprang into action. A Ukrainian FPV drone carrying a high-explosive payload maneuvered perfectly into position and struck the Russian fortification. The drone operator executed a precise hit right at the entrance of the bunker. But the Ukrainian attack didn't stop there. The Russian equipment around the trench became the next targets, and ammunition crates left outside were also destroyed by FPV drones. A Russian soldier was hiding among the bushes. For an unknown reason, he fired his weapon, revealing his position. An FPV drone immediately struck him, causing serious injuries, and a second drone attack followed shortly after. The Russian soldier was unable to escape the drone attacks. This time, the target was a Russian soldier hiding among the bushes. The FPV drone struck him directly in his concealed position. A Russian soldier attempting to reach a bridge and cross a swamp was spotted by Ukrainian forces. An FPV drone was immediately deployed to stop him. Miraculously surviving the first strike, the soldier reached the bridge, thinking the danger was over. However, he was now completely exposed, and the second drone strike struck him directly on the bridge. Ukrainian drone teams spotted movement in an abandoned and previously cleared trench and immediately took action. The Russian soldier entering the trench was struck repeatedly by high-explosive FPV drones in rapid succession. The explosions buried the soldier under the debris, rendering the trench completely unusable and fully destroyed. Ukrainian Signum Battalion targeted Russian soldiers in the Lyman region. A large group of enemy troops became the focus of multiple FPV drone strikes. Once again, in the Lyman region, Russian infantry on a logistics route were picked off one by drones. Despite using signal jammers, the Signum drone team easily bypassed these defenses with their fiber optic FPV drones. Here, a soldier trying to escape the drone couldn't outrun the highly maneuverable fiber optic FPV drone. This Russian soldier is completely unaware of the drone approaching from behind, or perhaps chooses to ignore it. There's a Russian soldier trying to hide behind a tree, thinking the drone hasn't spotted him, but that's a grave mistake. The drone operator carefully maneuvered, slowly closing in on the Russian soldier. Finally, the drone struck directly. A Russian group attempted to assault Ukrainian defensive positions using motorcycles and a civilian vehicle. They were met with an FPV drone strike. The drone hit the vehicle directly, causing a massive explosion that neutralized the vehicle and eliminated the Russian soldiers inside. The wrecked vehicle continued to move across the open terrain, leaving a trail of destruction. This Russian assault attempt clearly illustrated how untrained and disorganized Russian forces are on the front lines, moving recklessly and without coordination. The 64th Mechanized Infantry Battalion of Ukraine launched a tank assault on buildings in the Andriivka area that Russian forces had captured and turned into military positions. German-made Leopard tanks advanced alone, opening fire on the buildings, while Russian soldiers were unable to respond. Ukraine has received a total of 77 Leopards from Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. With their high firepower and mobility, the Leopards quickly neutralized the Russian positions. The Leopard tanks proved decisive on the battlefield, allowing Ukraine to regain control of the area with minimal losses. Their effective use showcased both the tank's capabilities and the Ukrainian forces' growing proficiency in modern armored warfare. Russian soldiers transporting a multiple rocket launcher system on a vehicle became the target of a drone. Another Russian soldier in open terrain was spotted by drones from Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade. He tried to evade, but the heavy load he was carrying slowed him down. The Russian soldier was struck fatally by the first drone attack. Here's another angle of the strike. A Ukrainian fixed-wing drone struck Russian logistics in Kharkiv Oblast, targeting supply routes and vehicles that were critical for maintaining frontline positions. The UAV battalion of Ukraine's 110th Mechanized Brigade targeted Russian soldiers on the front line. One of them noticed the incoming drone and opened fire, trying desperately to shoot it down. But despite his efforts, he failed. Ukrainian syndicate unit of the 2nd Mechanized Battalion, 42nd Mechanized Brigade, carried out a precise drone strike in the Kharkiv direction. Russian soldiers and their equipment were targeted one by one, leaving them no chance to regroup. What makes this important is how Ukrainian FPV operators are not only eliminating manpower, but also crippling logistics and frontline mobility. Each of these strikes chips away at Russia's ability to hold positions in this sector. A Russian FAB-500 aerial bomb equipped with a UMPK glide module struck open ground, landing just meters ahead of a Ukrainian Mavic drone. The Ukrainian Ground Crows unit, affiliated with the 93rd Mechanized Brigade, destroyed Russian soldiers, vehicles, and equipment in the Kostiantynivka region of Donetsk Oblast. For a full week, Ukrainian forces relentlessly deployed countless drones across the front lines. Russian trenches, fortified positions, military equipment, and ammunition depots were systematically neutralized, one by one. But the operation didn't stop there. Ukrainian drones also tracked and struck Russian soldiers moving along supply routes, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. Even strategic military communication antennas were targeted and destroyed, severely disrupting Russian coordination. This sustained drone campaign demonstrated not just precision, but a complete dominance of the battlefield from above, leaving Russian forces scrambling for cover and struggling to respond. Here's another Russian soldier trying to move under the cover of darkness, hoping to evade the drones. However, the night vision capabilities of the FPV drones rendered his efforts useless. In his final moments, the soldier can be seen desperately pleading with the drone. As the battle reaches its final stages, the situation on the front lines becomes unmistakably clear. Ukrainian forces continue to dominate the battlefield with relentless FPV and kamikaze drone operations. Russian troops, scattered across open terrain, fortified positions, and makeshift shelters, are increasingly exposed and vulnerable. Every movement is being tracked, every position observed, and there is nowhere left to hide. FPV drones strike with surgical precision, targeting soldiers, vehicles, and artillery alike. Kamikaze drones complement these attacks, eliminating high-value targets and creating chaos among enemy ranks. Russian armored units, trying to advance or retreat, find themselves trapped under an unyielding rain of drone attacks. Even previously fortified positions offer little protection against these agile aerial threats. Russian forces struggle not only with the technology, but with logistics and coordination. Abandoned vehicles litter the roads, and supplies fail to reach the front lines. Soldiers attempt to seek cover, but the drone's speed and reconnaissance capabilities leave them no respite. Each failed maneuver and exposed position serves as another testament to the overwhelming effectiveness of Ukraine's drone strategy. Through continuous operations, day and night, Ukrainian drone teams have demonstrated a capacity to not only disrupt enemy movements, but also systematically degrade Russian combat capability. These strikes are more than tactical victories. They are psychological blows, leaving troops cautious, disoriented, and under constant threat.